Hey guys, it's Becky. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a video for you that was prompted by one YouTube comment that I got on one of my slow living videos. If you've been watching my channel recently, then you would have seen I've been talking about slow living, intentional living, just slowing down life, focusing on priorities and being as intentional with our time as possible. And so in one of my recent slow living videos, somebody commented basically that it must be nice to be able to afford to live slowly, but I work too much because I need the money, and so therefore I cannot live slowly. It was basically something along those lines. And that one comment prompted this entire video, because even though I understand where that person was coming from, and to them they may think you have to have a certain amount of money to be able to live slowly, and I basically commented back what I'm going to share with you in today's video too. But it's not just about the money that you have, it's about your mindset. And it is an intentional effort and prioritization of your life and the time that you do have, no matter how much that is. So whether you have 20 hours a week to do whatever, or 2 hours a week to do whatever, it's taking the time that you do have and being as intentional with that time as you can, and doing things in that amount of time that you can that recenter you, refocus you, and recharge you. So whether you are dirt poor or the richest of the rich, you can still find time to live slowly if you have different tools at your disposal to bring you back to center and refocus you and focus on your priorities. So basically that one comment led to everything I'm sharing in this video, which is basically 5 myths about slow living. And that was the first one, was that you cannot have a job and live slowly, and that is absolutely not true. The second myth that I feel like may be common out there when it comes to slow living is you cannot sustain living slowly. Since slow living comes from your mindset and your intentional efforts and priorities, you can and will make slow living a habit and a part of your life if you are consistent with it, no matter what season of life you're in. And yes, there will be times of your life that you're living slowly and your intentional living will be different. If you have young kids, your time that you have and the way you're able to prioritize your time is different than it is if you don't have kids, or if you have older kids. If you're a college student, the way that you might be able to live more slowly is going to be different than if you have graduated and are now looking for your career. It's going to look different in every stage of your life, but if you have the core basics of making it a priority, knowing what those priorities are, finding 1,000,001 different ways that will feed into the slow living lifestyle, and there really are 1,000,000 ways that you can really contribute to a slower lifestyle and a slow living mentality, then those things can and will carry with you throughout your entire life, no matter what season you are of life, no matter what age you are, no matter your circumstances. It definitely can be sustained if you are willing to put in the work to make it an effort and make it a priority. The third myth of slow living is that you cannot be productive. And this is one that I originally was struck with myself in the beginning, because I am somebody who is very goal-oriented, very project and to-do list driven. And so when I thought about living more slowly, I was like, I can't do that because I'm too busy and I like to get stuff done too much. I like to have those marks on my to-do list at the end of every week or month or day. I like having those too much to be able to give those away and say, well, I'd rather live slowly than get stuff done. For me, I have actually found that I have been more productive in my beginnings of my slow living journey than I was beforehand. I'm able to prioritize projects more, focus more on those projects. I'm seeing more things done start to finish before I'm jumping around to other projects. And then that's not to say that sometimes multiple projects have to be done kind of in tandem because they kind of are related. But for the most part, I am able to really focus and get more things done start to finish than I was beforehand. And it has definitely been eye-opening for me that I'm still able to be productive, even though now I'm also incorporating this time of slowing down, refocusing, being more intentional, taking more time for rest, taking more time for family time. I'm doing those things, but I'm also being productive. And that has been an amazing thing to kind of see unfold for somebody, like I said, who like me was very worried about that in the beginning. So I can say myself, you definitely can be productive and still practice slow living. It's just going to look different for everybody. It's all based on your idea of productivity, first of all, but also your priority setting, really sitting down to schedule your days and your weeks and your months and your seasons so that you can focus on what's most important, Be okay with putting some of those other things to the back burner, realizing that you'll get done with them eventually. You'll get to those things eventually, but right now you're focusing on these things. The other things are still on the docket, just not right now. The fourth myth of slow living is that you cannot have kids if you intend to live slowly. For me, that's the exact reason why I have taken a greater focus on slow living, because I want to spend as much time with my girls while they're still home. I want to make as many memories as I can while they're still here and in my house. I want to have the strongest family bond that I can possibly have with them and my husband before they go out on their own in the world and have, you know, relationships and maybe get married and have kids of their own one day. Life will be amazing then too, and I will love them. I will love every stage of their lives, but I want to take the full optimum opportunity of having them home with us. And so for me, that was the reason why I implemented slower living into our life and have been trying to make it a focus of our life, because I'm doing it for them. And if you wait until you don't have kids, or you think it's only for people who don't have kids, I feel like you'll be missing out. Because for me as a mom, except for being a Christian, and my religion and my faith and everything with God and my relationship with him, my life as a mom is the most important thing to me. So why would I not take the time and the effort and the intention to live more slowly and be more intentional with my kids? That just, to me, that just kind of makes sense. So if for no other reason, you should do and practice slow living in your life because you have kids, not using them as a reason why you can't. And like I said earlier, if you say, well, I can't live slowly because I have a job, or I can't sustain slow living because I have kids, or, you know, whatever, it's going to look different in every season of your life, but that doesn't mean that it can't be in every season of your life. And the fifth myth that I think kind of surrounds slow living is that you have to be a minimalist. And I think the reason that that is kind of what people would assume is because having a lot of stuff does create chaos in our lives, in our houses. It just does. So I get the why those two things are paired, but let me tell you, am 195,000% not a minimalist. I don't want to be a minimalist. I'm very too sentimental for that. I like to keep a lot of the girls' stuff, and I don't ever intend to get rid of that stuff. That's just something that I'm not willing to give up, and I'm willing to sacrifice, you know, space in my house and a little bit of mental space, knowing that I've got a lot of stuff that I like to keep, and I'm okay with that. So for me, it's not about not having that much stuff. It's just about organizing what I do have the very best that I can. So don't think that you have to be a minimalist and you have to go get everything, like get rid of everything in your house so that you can practice slow living. You just need to be as organized with what you do have as possible. Be as creative with your storage solutions as you can. And, you know, realize that yes, the more stuff you do have, the longer it's going to take you to clean it and maintain it. That is true. Again, for me, I'm not willing to give up the things that I am keeping, so I am willing to spend a little bit of extra time cleaning, to clean around some of the stuff or organize some of the stuff. I'll make up that time somewhere else. So for me, that's a priority. If you really want to be a minimalist, that's great. And I appreciate people that do that, and I really admire those people, because to me, that just would be so difficult. But you don't have to be a minimalist just to live slowly. So those are my 5 slow living myths that I wanted to share with you guys today. Like I said, all prompted from that one comment that the lady thinks that you just have to have a lot of money to be able to live slowly, and that's definitely not true. Really focus on your mindset and your priorities and being intentional. That's what matters. That will guide you through living more slowly, whether you are working full-time, you're a single parent, you're a college student, you have a baby at home and a toddler, you know, whatever your situation is, it is all about your mindset, your priority, your perspective, and your intentions. And that will definitely lead you in a slow living path, no matter what circumstances, no matter what other circumstances you have in your life. I'm actually planning on a video about, I don't know the number yet, but I'm doing like, you know, blank ways that you can live slowly. And I think once I get that video kind of curated and I get enough ways that you can practice slow living, I think people might see that it's not as ginormous of a task as it seems like. A lot of what I have found in our own slow living journey and practice is it's a lot of little things that accumulate into one big thing. Pretty much like exercise. You know, you don't work out one time and get a six-pack. It's consistency, it's prioritization and making your health a priority, making time for working out, making good choices when it comes to what you eat, and it's a day after day after day after day thing that takes a lot of little steps to get you to the end result of a six-pack or whatever. That's just my example. I don't want to have a six-pack. I like carbs too much for that. But that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with slow living. It's not just one big giant thing that takes a bunch of time and a bunch of effort and you have to have a certain amount of money or you have to have a certain lifestyle. It is 1,000,001 little things that add up to a slower living lifestyle. So definitely planning that video. I've been thinking a lot in my mind about like big things, little things, medium things that really contribute to a slower living mentality. Still working on that. If that's something you want to see, definitely let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you have any of your own suggestions of ways that you slow down and you refocus and you recenter and you prioritize your life and your peace and your rest. If you have any tips for me that you want me to add to that video, definitely leave them in the comments. I could use as many tips as possible so that I'll have the biggest list possible for you guys to help out. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. I have also created a slow living playlist. There's not that many videos in it because I haven't made that many videos about slow living yet, but I definitely hope to make more in the future. And if you've missed any of the ones I've already made, they are in that playlist for you. So check that out. I'll link it for you and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.